we're back. I hope you are too. The internet comes with joys and pains, but we are not to be deterred. We will persist. So, when last I left you, we were painting. Well, not quite yet. We're getting ready to paint, but this is a fun project, simple, at home. You've got your Crayolas. Today we're testing a couple of different kinds out. Twistables, regular old Crayolas. Hopefully you have these things lying around. You may also need some of your 20-year-old watercolor paints from 4th grade. So this is what we need. This is where we're at. I'm glad you guys came back. Hi, Meow Meow. The Madfish is back. Woot woot. Well, I hope others jump on and see how this ends up because it's going to be so cool. The last thing we were doing was putting a little bit of a nice shadow. Ooh, darker blue. That's cool. I'm into it. To give the purple planet some shape and texture in this way. And notice how I put the shadows of the 2 planets both on the same sides of those planets. So we continue on. Now we're going to add some stuff in between. We put some white stars, which you can't see until later. But we're going to put more because these 3 objects on their own need framing. They're kind of the subjects of the piece, but just dangling out there in space, they're not very exciting. So we promised we were going to use some jet stream green and also some player 1 blue. So, or really, I guess, non-NPC blue. We'll do a couple cute Razas for Meow Meow because she was the first one back in chat, and that's awesome. So I'm sure other people probably are just struggling with YouTube. Apparently it doesn't work very well today. So thanks again for tuning back in, Meow Meow. We're going to do a little green Raza in honor of the one you found. And we're going to do a little red Raza in honor of the awesome little fighter spaceship that we are getting in our permadeath file. Dimash and I got the red fighter pilots, and so did Meow Meow, but then she went swimming too soon. You know, she'd eaten recently and drowned. So we got to get that red ship, but we're going to put it in our painting today. It's a good luck omen for finding it right off the bat in our next time. We do that on Fridays, tomorrow, after we stream the weekend mission. So super fun. Look for that tomorrow. Heck yeah, perma fighter. Aw, thanks, Maddie. She says, glug glug death. It was so sad. But you know, that's permadeath. That's it. All right, so I got a couple of cute little greens here. And actually this had turned out more green. Let's get some traditional Crayola green in there. So Raza Fighter green and Raza Fighter red. We've got a legit old-fashioned red, and which we used on our atlas. So maybe we'll stick with these reds in the twistables and see how that comes out. Yeah, got 2 of the twistables. This one's kind of pink, but you know me. And these are going to be small, so we're not going to put a lot of detail on these. Like, we're not getting so, with crayons you can't like get so detailed. You're going to do the decals on the ship, especially given the ratio of how big our planets are. So all we're going to do, these are buddies. You know, maybe they just got done fighting some pirates, and these little helper mercenaries are like flying by being like, hey, woo, we beat the pirates. So so they're going to be like, I'm going to try to have them zooming sort of together, a little offset down here into this space down this way. So they're zooming this way. And so our little Razas are, they got that cute little nose, which I love. Some of them have these cool little front wings, right? And then I got one recently that had little turned down wings like this. So we're gonna give them a little more of a profile out. Oh gosh, and then how do their butts work? They just stick out tiny bits, not really a lot, right? Again, we're not going for perfection. I'm gonna grab a black for some engines here. And this is our main player. Just gonna give some cool like shape with the other color of red, leaving some white shining through, because who knows what the watercolor is gonna do when we get there. They kind of, let's see, we got cockpit there. You can kind of leave the window blank and maybe just give it some texture. Again, we're not going for perfection. This is interpretive, impressionistic. Let's see. Pew, pew, pew. Let's go quick when you have something like that, because it's so hard to be perfect if you're going slow and steady, I think. Also, you can kind of, as you quickly get to the end of that line, you're lifting off a little bit. So you get this kind of cool trailing off effect when the pressure's coming off your crayon. So that's my recommendation. I don't know if it always works. Ooh, that one was a little off, so maybe evened it out there, you know? You can kind of, the jet streams do have a little trail off. So yeah, you know, super fun. Then we got our green one. This was kind of cool. I enjoyed, because the twistables have that really thin tip. I enjoyed drawing the outline of this spaceship with this crayon. It's a little more maneuverable, higher maneuverability rating on the twistables. So let's make our little NPC helper ship. I love the halos too. So this green one's gonna have a halo. Nice and dark. And that's a pretty green. That's almost my favorite color of green. Let's stick some engines right in there. Maybe this one's just 2. And the rest of the ship, I don't know. I can't think of how these are, you know, how the halo connects at the moment. But let's see, here's this little Raza nose. And I don't know, the wings on these guys, maybe this one's like, you know, up there. I switched greens. I didn't realize it, but that was fun. I like how that turned out. Gonna fill in more of that one. Let's give this halo a highlight with the darker green. I really think, you know, texturing is just finding another shade of a similar color and like adding highlight and shadow. It gives things shape and makes them pop. And this, now we get to use, what I was so excited about, the kind of bright neon green jet stream here. And maybe he's flying another direction, so these are gonna trail off a different way. Pew. Very cool, super fun. Okay, now finishing touches before we hit the watercolors will be, you know, in the game, we don't have just white stars. The ones you can't see are already put down at the beginning. There are also yellow stars and red stars and green stars. So we're gonna throw, for some variety, a few more little like constellation-y dots. I wanted to work dabbing in there, and we're not dabbing. This is just making little spots. You avoided it. You avoided it today. My favorite joke. So there's some yellow, and we also get some red stars. So throw some red stars. I'm going to make them a little bigger. I think red stars are generally, we talk about red giants in Earth space. So I don't know, maybe the red ones are a little bigger. And then a couple of green ones. No, yeah. This is that sort of turquoisey, what I thought would be turquoise, but turned out to be a little more green, which is cool. It's a little bit Rasta over here. Yellow, red, and green stars. The white ones will show up when we're into the watercolor section. One last thing we want to spruce up this space with is a little bit of nebula action. And we've got an orange planet. What should our nebula be? We've got most of the colors represented here. These yellow stars, I wouldn't want to go overboard with yellow. We could maybe do a deep blue. Let's do a deep blue with a light blue kind of liquidatious nebula. I've seen that a couple times in the game, and I just love it. So I'm going to grab a couple shades of blue and my white twistable. And ooh, even this is azul, traditional blue. So we're actually going to kind of take the watercolor and fill in most of the space, but we can give it a little cool nebula. So maybe in creeping in from the edges, we'll try. Catching up with the chat. Oh, the droid wing is awesome. Thank you. Super glad we got the stream back. Me too. All you guys, thanks for coming back. We've got a few viewers, it looks like. And there's a link here to, I'm not sure whose channel that is, but it's awesome. Thanks for putting links in there, guys. Sweet shout out. Oh, it must be Meow Meow 10. Yeah, now I'm seeing it. I'm reading it in my brain. Heck, yes, sweet. Dab dots. Dab dots. So, nebula. Framing our corners here. So I'm going to start in this corner because you can see it pretty well. We're going to kind of repeat it all the way around. But kind of what we'll do here is I'm going to use let's use a light blue first. And just kind of, where nebulas are liquidy, so we're kind of trying to move like watery motions, and then it can change. I feel like the nebulas have almost like currents. They don't all go one direction. There's like a lot going on. So what's another kind of opposite direction here? And then we'll use a different blue and just follow a little bit lighter, a little bit more filling in, but still along these squiggles we've made for ourselves. Be a little loosey-goosey with it. Maybe it creeps out a little bit over here, but lightly. It can fade, you know. And then the white, I think, just kind of adds, we'll really see that when the watercolor comes in. Any opportunity you have to throw in a little white, it's such a magical thing when it turns out at the end. You're like, oh, I forgot I put that there. Yay. Super fun. So yeah, and when you run a white crayon over colored crayons, it interestingly does some simple blending. It's not super blended at all, but it almost softens whatever color it goes on top of in a fun way. And this is that dark, we've got darker blue, traditional Crayola. Give it a nice deep vein in there. Ooh, that's really pretty. I mean, you never know what you're going to find in a nebula, right? Could be hazardous. Could be, well, I guess in No Man's Sky, you can't really fly into the nebulas, but That'd be cool if you could. Maybe that's where we'll find, maybe they'll put nebulas in the game and then we'll find combat updates in the nebula. Shout out Magic Within. He's not here, but you know. Bobby Demon Lemon. So glad you hopped on. I was hoping I could say your name today. Hi. Hi to Mash. Hi, Maddie. Say it 3 times fast. Bobby Demon Lemon, Bobby Demon Lemon, Bobby Demon Lemon. Almost. That's awesome. So cool. We're just going to keep working on this nebula, bringing it in from the edges. So we started, oops, I'm going to start with my lightest. That is not my lightest blue. I just put way too much pressure on probably. So here we go. Bringing in some nebula this way. And I'm going to try to make it different from the other one. Just a little bit. Maybe a little more tendrily over here. This is more clustered and this is expanding, and it's all probably part of one thing. And let's see, bring that in. A couple different blues. And that blue turned out really, really dark. I'm actually going to take my white and press a little harder on top of that big dark streak I left. The watercolors will also tone it down, but wow. So there we go. That's shaping up. We'll see how that looks. I really went to town on the white there. See how different that is. And a little pretty, pretty, pretty. And like I said, you can go loosey-goosey on some of this and just whoo, nebula. Just let your hand feel like a nebula. It is nebulous, this technique. You're not really doing this. This is why anybody can do this, you guys. Little kids, this is how they actually draw. So this is a great thing for people who don't normally get artistic on paper. And you know what? If someone's resistant, tell them they're going to love it, because they really, really will. People surprise themselves. They think there's so much pressure to like make something good. Doesn't matter. It's really just the act of doing it. And usually when, you know, in a situation like this, if you walk away, you're comparing yourself to me and you're like, oh, hers was so good, mine's terrible. Tomorrow, when you wake up and look at it again, you're not looking at mine at the same time. You're gonna be like, wow, you know what, that's not bad. That's pretty good. So cool. That is awesome. We've got our outer space and it has some nice textures, and there's no uninteresting part of this canvas. And that's kind of the goal, is you want to have your subjects, but then make sure your background isn't just a wasteland. So potato. And so the potato backstory was born. Like Bloody Mary. Yep. Oh my goodness. I won't say it 3 times. If you say Bobby Demon Lemon 3 times fast, you're guaranteed to get the word potato in your chat. I think that's the lesson learned here. Great. All right, you guys, we are ready for the watercolor portion of the stream. This is kind of the last step. We've done like the subjects and the broad strokes and the medium strokes and the finishing touches, and the watercolors, just like the ultimate finishing touch here. We are going to use a couple different colors. So you will want, as usual with paints, with acrylic, it's a little bit slightly different, but you're still going to need your paper towel and a nice fresh cup of water and your watercolor brushes, which again, as I said in part 1 of this stream, are different. the bristles are softer. They really just soak up water is what they're built to do. So paper towel is going to be handy when we don't want too much water, right? It's a little, watercolors can be overwhelming only in terms of learning to control the water and how much you need for various techniques. Today, we're going to be doing a simple kind of washing the canvas with water. So it'll be pretty simple. I don't think you'll overdo it. So, potato, he said it. 100% agree with you on being creative at your own pace and style. That's the thing. If you put undue pressure on yourself, you'll scare yourself away and you're never going to do it. I want you to do it. Yeah. And a little angel. Oh, he's such an angel. Thank you for potatoing me today. All right, so we're going to tune back in here and I'll show you what to do with these watercolors. So we are going to take a medium to large watercolor brush and we're going to lay kind of just a whole layer of water, but not super thick. So we're going to dip your brush in the water, but let some excess water, I'm not pressing the brush onto the paper towel, but I'm letting the excess drips that inevitably are there freshly from the glass onto the paper towel. So then I can just brush water, a light coat of water on most of the whole thing. We will probably come back and add more water, but we want to give it a little prep. Just all over, really. You're not going to be moving that crayon around. The crayon is stuck where it is. It's not going anywhere. And you can see my paper is starting to buckle and bubble a little bit. That is all right. So it's a little bit wet everywhere. And now I'm going to turn to my watercolors. I've got a lot of fun colors. Let's see. And I got the basic rainbow here and a little bit not basic rainbow. All you got to do to activate your watercolors is take some water on your brush and plop it into the color you want. So I like this pretty blue. We're going to start with the blue. We might bring in some black. We were talking about mostly keeping this a blue nebula, so I'm going to stay in that range of colors. I might dabble with this. Looks like a cool turquoise. This might be a cool turquoise as well. So, and this is purple. So in that range of cool colors from blue, shades of blue to purple through, well, of course it's outer space, so we might take some black and darken up some areas. But we'll see. We'll start with the blue. I'm going to bring it in from the corners because, you know, it's a good place to start. And yeah, you'll see that the crayon kind of repels the watercolor. So I use mostly the twistables on this nebula portion, and I'm noticing that the twistables are not as good at holding up to the watercolors. We can even see, so actually though, this is one of those white dots from the twistable that is a star there. So it's actually pretty, not too bad. If you feel like you want a little more water, go ahead and grab some. I still had some color on my brush. All I did was dip it in the water to keep going. Ooh, I got a little drip of blue on the Atlas station. Didn't really want to do that. It's not going to matter though. I am staying away from the inside of that because I'm going to probably use the black or some dark, cool color. I can even go back into areas where I started with the blue, get a little more water, and just bring it over here. So you can kind of see that with watercolors, and I am not a professional watercolorist at all. That's not why we did this today. Remember, I told you anyone can do this, even your kids, even your insane kids that you're teaching, and you never wanted to be a teacher, so why are you doing this? And you know, this is just an idea for you to simply and easily find something fun to do with the fam. Your quarantine partner, yourself, by yourself, and your pet rock, you know. You could paint your pet rock after you're done with this. Hide it inside of a latex glove and leave it in a public place. Cool. So we've got a nice big blue nebula happening. I especially like how the white crayon did over here. Maybe we're just pressing harder over here. Not sure what the difference is. This one down here turned out pretty cool too. I'm going to grab, rinse my brush a little bit. When we're staying in the same family of colors, like we're saying we're going to stick with mostly cool colors, you don't have to worry about how much your brush is washed out. But you know, you can. I'm going to switch to purple. So, you know, that's the thing. Blue is really not going to do much to purple. You know, I'm actually going to switch to a smaller brush because I've decided what I want to do with this purple is give our purple planet a nice like watercolor glow. So I'm going to find a little bit smaller of a watercolor brush. I already wetted the purple, so I'm just going to pick up some of that purple right here in the palette. I got it all wet a little bit. So if I'm not wetting my brush and I'm just taking wet watercolor paint, this is going to be really vibrant right now. So let's see how it does. I'm just using the smaller brush now because I want to focus the watercolor around the edge of this planet. But because, see how pretty that is? Because the water and the paper are all wet, it's going to have a little bit of a very fuzzy, fun spreading effect on the edges, like an atmosphere almost. It's so cool. Really dark, really, really dark, which is cool. I'm loving it. And I like the way that's spreading. Kind of, you know, makes me think this planet there might be more to this planet than meets the eye. This is a little hard edge, so I got my brush wet to get a little more. I rinsed out some color and just brought back some water to kind of help with that feathering, light, runny, tenderly effect. Oh, that's cool. I like it. Sometimes if you're like, whoa, that's almost too much color, you can totally rinse out your brush, dab out the water so your brush is dry, and then you can actually pick up, this is the cool technique with watercolor, you can pick up the excess watery color that's on your canvas. If you're like, whoa, that almost got too dark. So it's almost like a sponge. You're dabbing up the water. Not like this. Oh, I'm evil. Okay, so yeah, we're dabbing up some of this excess deep purple. And look, it's very much now kind of almost glowing the atmosphere. We didn't need so much of that darkness. That's cool. I'm even just gonna rinse out all the color and do one quick just wrap around of plain water to give that soft, ooh, yeah, there we go. I'm blending with my finger. I bet some watercolor artists out there is like, what are you doing? That's all right though. Cool. So now I want to show you guys a cool thing. There's actually white watercolors. You're like, what? It's true. See there? So I'm going to pick up some white on my little detail watercolor brush. That same one we were just using. Got it rinsed out of the purple. Activate your white, nice and kind of opaque. So we're going to lay this around our orange planet and see if we can't get another cool atmosphere effect. I'm going to work quickly because I don't want it to dry before I can do a rinse and pass around with water here, because I want it's not as wet as I had hoped. But look, I can even go over my orange planet, and that crayon is repelling very nicely. I'm going to rinse that brush out of all the white and just take some water fresh out of the glass. I got water on the brush with no color, and just pass around that white that I just put down so it has a cool feathered atmosphere effect on the outside instead of a hard line. Oh man, I'm just realizing that I forgot the rings on this planet. That's okay. You know what? I'll show you how to do the rings with watercolor. We're going to have to let that dry. So let me finish the orange planet with some orange. I want to really orange it up with watercolor. So we're getting our orange color here. And we're going to spread it just inside the planet. We don't, we really filled this in with a lot of crayons. So there won't be a ton of the paper soaking up this orange color, but it will touch those little itty bitty areas that didn't get crayon on them, and just heighten how much this cool orange planet looks like it came right out of the game. I love it. And those white veins really pop. Really enjoy that. And I'm going to take my paper towel. Sometimes if there's just one little spot that you're like, oh, that's quite a bit of paint, you can just dab up a little puddle with your paper towel. Easy. So there's sponging methods both with the brush and with your paper towel. This blue got on the side of the planet. I don't care. It's just adding to the shadow that I did. Every mistake is an opportunity for redesign, y'all. Don't stress. This is all about fun. Well, I'm not stressed about that little blue dot on my atlas. I think it's cool. Nice. So then I'm going to do a little white streak along my jet streams. Just add a little bit of fun pop to that. And rinse my brush. Just get a little bit of wateriness on there, and I don't want them to be too harsh of a line. So that just kind of highlights the crayon green that we put down, gives it that kind of glowing propulsion. We'll do the same thing with the blue jet stream. You get your white. I'm going to kind of line it along the blue. And then rinse my brush, get it nice and wet. Maybe not too wet, but still with water in it. And blend it out a little bit because it doesn't need to be extreme. And the crayon will show through. Very fun. Cool. Just adds a little bit of texture and interest there. So let's hit our atlas now with a dark, we'll go black. We'll see what black does. We might hit, I'm going to keep the white close by so that if the atlas gets too black, we have two methods to lighten it up. One would be to use our brush like a sponge and lift off some of the color, and the other would be to use some white and blend so it's more of a gray. But I'm going to start with black because this gray and red crayon I think is really going to pop. So here, we'll just lay in some black. Oh yeah, it's super resistant. You guys, the gray was a twistable and the red was the Tradish Crayola. And see, it's going to blend with that blue a little bit, and that's just fine because the atlas probably does reflect light from the nebula, the atlas station. And actually, some of those first white stars are repelling some of the paint, and that's fine too. It's glinting. The Atlas station glints at me. And I might even let some of this black spill out the edge there. Wow, it is so cool how the Crayola repels watercolor, you guys. I love this effect. It's super fun. It's super simple. Anyone can do it, any age, any skill level. Honestly, I am not going to lighten that up. It is so intimidating looking like that. I love it. Very cool. I'm actually going to give it a little more forebodingness by darkening the blue of the nebula around it. We'll see if I can get in there. Oof. Oofta. And we're just outlining it with a little darker blue, and we can grab some, rinse the brush, but leave some water in and smooth that, blend that into the rest of the nebula. But then, isn't that cool? It's like creating this, you don't want to go here kind of feeling. You might regret this kind of feeling. Turn back before it's too late. And if you ever feel like you're getting a hard line of two, you're like, my blue just, it really stands out. I can see a big difference between what I just did. Just grab some water. See how I blended all that out? But it is a deeper blue around that now, which I really, really like. I was also maybe going to darken up some of the corners of the piece here. Just bringing in some dark blue. Like the expanse of space is so big beyond what we're even looking at. This is just one tiny corner of quintillions of planets. So that's fun. I love this dark. I actually did want to toy around with this turquoise. So a little dark blue over here and here. And this is just water I'm adding because it was, a lot of blue all at once. Grab some water, spread it out, let it flow. That's the cool thing that since we did a nebula, here, let's try this turquoise. See what it looks like. I'm actually going to test it out in the water of this beautiful purple planet. Gosh, it's more green than I wanted, but that's okay. That's why we're testing it out over here. And I am kind of moving around the little land masses. I'm going to try to keep them without some of this turquoise seeping through. Ooh, this is cool. This is so pretty. Great. And instead of getting more color, because since, this is the shadowy side of the planet, I am going to do a little bit, let's see. And then we want it to blend out and lighten up as we go onto the lighter side of the planet. So we can just grab a little more water so that that dilutes. We're bringing this color over, but it's way more diluted. Not delusional, diluted. So we keep that nice sort of spherical texture of the light shadowed on the planet. Oh, that's so pretty. Very nice. So I think that this turquoise is just perfect on the planet, and I don't need it in the outer space because the space is looking so pretty just with like the various shades of blue. So I'm going to switch back to that blue. And bring in a little more texture. Spread it out, blend it in with more water. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so relaxing, y'all. Just let yourself get away for a minute. Fly through outer space in another way. I want to thank you guys for coming and joining me today and painting with me, journeying through space via canvas. Whatever you had lying around at home, I hope it worked. I haven't forgotten about these rings. We're going to have them be our finishing touch. But I'm so stoked how this turned out. A fun thing you can do, while I'm letting this dry, I'm just going to tell you an interesting aspect you can add to this little food fun. If you sprinkle salt onto your painting while it's still wet, the salt will stick and sort of soak in some of the paint around it. So in effect, it gives another texture of star effect. So that's something you can always try and experiment with when you're trying this project out. I just wanted to check in and see all the wonderful people that came back and joined in. I knew you were there. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Potato is life, man. Exactly. I love rocks. Yes. Paint some rocks, Bobby Demon Lemon. Wow. Keep feathering it, brother. Hey, cool vlog. Great to see you have a creative side. Oh, thanks, Captain Steve. Cool. Oh, I think I'm glitching again. Strange. Stop it. Hello, Captain Steve's channel. Captain's very talented. He was a tattoo artist. He's way better than me. So I could never tattoo somebody. Nice. That looks awesome. All coming together. It is all coming together. That atlas, that was a real wow moment. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. That's might be my favorite part. I kind of like the little roses though. And hi, I'll just dropping Oreos and up thumbs. Thanks, Davante. Awesome of you to drop by. Thank you. And have funs and try get most you paint on the paper and not yourself. That's why I'm wearing an apron. Have dedicated paint clothes. Always a good idea. Good shout out there. Oh, wow, this is live. Hi, Captain. Yeah, it is. Hey, just added a comment. Was casting to my TV, just left. Cass saw everyone's comments pop up in live chat. Very cool. It's starting to build up well. Ha, it looks really good. Thanks, guys. Pretty. Liked the orange planet at the bottom. Came out so cool. Actually, Captain, I'm painting upside down. That planet is at the top. So cool. I know. I was doing it for you guys. I couldn't believe it either. So final touch, I think. So one of these days, maybe I'll do a tutorial on different techniques, the actual techniques on how to paint with watercolor. We've been doing wet on wet because we wet the paper first and then applied color, wet color. We're letting it dry to do some rings on the orange planet. And that would be called wet on dry. So hopefully your canvas, you can give it a day even and let the whole thing dry and continue working with watercolor. Watercolor is incredible. And I actually know very little about how to be great at it. Literally, the last time I painted with watercolors was 4th grade. So this is just a fun project anyone can do. I hope you have this stuff lying around your house. That's why I made this video today, a little more intimate and just to like, you know what? Not everybody has acrylic paints. And we'll do another one like something like this with acrylics next time. But this time I wanted to change it up, sit down face to face. And if anybody is expert at OBS, I'm going to try to work so we can have 2 camera views, one that's close up on what my hand is doing, and then the other one with me showing you the bigger picture. So I would love to know more. I'm going to be watching videos and doing my own research, but if anybody's got tips, tricks, tools, all the cools, Very cool. So it's dry enough, hopefully. We're gonna throw some rings on that orange bad boy, and he's so cool. So rings are a little, transparent. So we're gonna use watercolor. We're gonna try it out with our more fine, detailed watercolor brush, a little bit smallish. I've even got a smaller one, you guys. Super tiny. So we might use that as after we get a good broad stroke for the rings down. We'll come back with this and add some texture. Definitely hair dryer, you guys. We recently moved. Well, not recently, but you know how unpacking goes. I have no idea where my hair dryer is. That's all right. I don't remember the last time I brushed my hair. Just kidding. Not. So I'm going to use that white again, and not too much water. I want it to be pretty opaque, but you got to activate it. It had dried a little bit. So get it nice and activated, but the more you work it, the more opaque kind of you're activating the pigment palette thing there. So really soaking up that brush with a lot of good white color. And let's tune it back down. So the orange planet is here. We're going to wrap some rings around it. So you sort of start on the edge, and we're gonna do it kind of an oval loop, de-loop. There. Now, the crayon is gonna repel this, and that's all right. If you really cared, you could maybe try to scratch away some of the Crayola's existence right on that area. Hey, that worked out not bad. Cool. So at least our hard edge doesn't kill the effect of the rings. So cool. We got a nice opaque white ring. I want to thicken it up though. So I'm going to grab a little more. You know, we got the basic shape down so that now we have a guide to follow, and we can thicken it up, make it even more opaque. More impressive. Man, look at those rings. Cool. And then I think while that's still wet, if you can work quickly, that's part of the fun with watercolors, is a little bit of timing. So while it's still wet, if you can, I'm going to grab that small little watercolor brush. I'm going to grab some orange and just run a little vein of oranginess through our rings. Ooh, and I'm really not putting a lot of pressure on this brush at all. It's my tiniest watercolor brush, and I'm really trying to keep it under control. It was real wet over there. That's a cool effect. You can't really see it, you guys, but you know, that wetness sort of spreads a little bit, so it gets a little fuzzy. It's very cool. Grab a little more and see if I can't make a second vein of orange through the white ring. I feel like I'm playing Mario Kart. Stay on the road. Stay on the rainbow road. All right, that's looking pretty cool. I like it. One side of that ring is really wet, so I'm gonna for sure let that dry. I rather than like lift it up to show you guys. One sec. I'm not sure how long that's going to take to dry. It was pretty thick. So as you can see, we had so much fun. You know what? One more finishing touch. Hell yeah, rings. If you like, then gotta put a ring on it. Yeah, if you like that planet, put a ring on it. Is the cream filling from the Oreo spinning too fast made rings on your planet? Yes, yes. Oh my goodness, you aren't playing Mario Kart, hun. You aren't behind me in second. Them's fighting words. I wanted to actually, it looks like we've got a pretty purple on this palette that we haven't activated. This is the not traditional like Roy G. Biv palette. So this purple is bound to be kind of interesting. I'm thinking we should take it and put it on the land masses on our purple and turquoise planet. So maybe by then the ring will have dried and I can pull this up and show you guys. This is such a pretty color. Wow, it's almost kind of a magenta purple. This says red violet, according to the little guide down there. And we're just gonna fill that into the land masses on this beautiful purple planet. And it's gonna mix with that turquoise over here. That's okay. Adds to the texture and the shadow and the shape. Gosh, I love this color. This is kind of like the perfect medium between my favorite color and Meow Meow's favorite color. And it's not going to go through every little place, but there just might be some tiny little piece of your paper that didn't get soaked with any watercolor yet. And it's going to grab it and hold onto it. And it'll be so pretty when it dries. You can do this on anything. You can cut this paper into strips, make some bookmarks, send them to your friends in quarantine, be like, thinking about you. There's so much space between us. What you reading? I would travel outer space to see you. Yeah. You know, this is just something, a little way to connect with people if you can, if you're thinking about people and you're bored and you don't know what to do and you've watched everything on Netflix. Hashtag Carol Baskins did it. And, you know, this is just something you can do. I hope I've helped you inspire confidence that you can do this. You're going to be way better than me. All right, let's see. I'm calling you out. I have a feeling that Mario Kart's going to get played today. I don't know why. This means war. I'm good enough to beat all my friends, but bad enough I can't play online. It's true. He's almost that good. And heck yeah, love it. I know a guy. You know a guy. Ma ha ha ha. Here, you guys, I'm going to pull this up to show you the finished product at a not weird angle, hopefully. I'm going to pull up all my awesome duct tape. Honestly, I think this duct tape is going to actually be a part of this painting because I'm worried about if you were using masking tape like you should when you're doing watercolor. But again, just use what you got. It's dangerous to go outside. I'll just fold this around. It'll be my frame. It'll be great. But here we go. So this is the finished product. Ooh, there's a cat hair on it. Okay. Here's how it turned out, you guys. Woo! Not too shabby, I'd say. I love it. I hope you do too. I hope you make your own. I hope you make many for gifts for friends. This has been so much fun, and I really thank everybody who came back to finish the piece with me. Don't know why I went all melty and then disappeared. YouTube has the coof. Get better, YouTube. So I hope you're all staying safe, and I look forward to catching you on Damash's stream tonight, permadeath at 8 p.m. Pacific time. I'll be reading comments as translator, and it's one of my favorite things that I get to do. So I hope to see you there. Catching up with you guys. Beautiful, very cool, Madfish. Thank you. Thank you for painting for us. You're welcome. I hope you give it a shot one time someday. Blame YouTube, Miss Batsit. It's nothing I did. Oh. Anyway, so next week we'll go back to acrylic paints. Maybe you can take a run to your local craft store and get in line. Stay 6 feet apart. Grab some acrylics. All you need is blue, yellow, red, white, and black, and you can make any color pretty much. So if you want to get specialty colors, go for it. We are gonna have some fun. I look forward to every Thursday with you guys. I'm so excited how this turned out. Hey, if you guys do this, I said do, please send me pictures. You can at me on Twitter, at MadfishMagpie. You can, I don't know, leave a comment in the comments of this live stream later. I would love to see what you do. So have fun, and thanks. We'll travel again in the universe next week. Bye. Better than Oreos. Cooking stream to come.